everyone, so today I want to talk about some of my thoughts on hell. And I'm sure that there are probably reasonable answers to these questions, but these are just some of the things that don't make sense to me. I remember when I was growing up and you start learning about hell and they start teaching you this, I remember thinking, well, if there's at least a 50% chance that somebody's going to end up in hell, why would anybody have children? That always bothered me to know, why would my mom have me if she knew that there was a 50% chance that I'm going to end up in hell? And why would I want to bring children into this world knowing that there's at least a 50% chance that they are going to burn in hell for eternity? That to me was reason enough not to have kids because the odds were way too high. It was too risky. And especially when this God is telling you, oh, have as many kids as possible and, don't use any condoms and preservatives or whatever. Not preservatives. Is that what they're called? No, not preservatives. I think preservatives? Contraceptives. Don't use contraceptives. Have as many kids as possible. But by the way, some of these kids are going to end up in hell, just so you know. Just a little heads up. That doesn't make any sense to me. To me, that is it would just be very cruel to ask somebody to have all these children knowing that those kids are probably going to be punished for eternity. The other thing is that our bodies cannot burn forever. They have a limit. They can only go on for maybe a few hours, I don't know. And then you turn into ash. Your body does not have eternal fuel. You just don't keep burning and burning and burning. There's a limit. So I don't understand how a spirit can burn for eternity. Does it have everlasting fuel where you just keep going and going and going? Or is it a special type of fire that, that will just burn and burn forever? So that doesn't make any sense. And then the other thing is that people say that God is outside of time. So I assume that when you die, you go to be with God. So now you're outside of time. So if there is no time, how can eternity exist? Because obviously, if you cannot measure time anymore, then there is no such thing as eternity. So if there's no such thing as eternity, how can there be eternal punishment? That doesn't make any sense. And then I think about, is there something that if I had a child, that child could do that I would want it to burn and be, in fire and be in pain and torment for eternity? I think that would make me a monster. I don't think that there is anything anybody could do that would be unforgivable eventually, So I always felt am I more compassionate than this God that is supposed to be all loving and kind and forgiving and all these things? How is it that me could this human person can be more compassionate and forgiving than a supposedly all-loving God? That doesn't make any sense. And then I heard the other day Matt Dillahunty talk about how when he asked his mom, she knows she's going to go to heaven because she's a Christian, she believes in God, and that how she knows or she believes that he's going to go to hell because he's an atheist. So he said, Mom, how can you say that you're going to be in heaven and be happy knowing that I'm going to be in hell burning for eternity? How is that possible? That doesn't make any sense, And for the first time I thought about it, I'm that makes total sense. How can you say that you're going to be in heaven, happy, everlasting joy, praising the Lord, blah, 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 when you know that half your kids and half your family or your friends or your relatives or whatever are burning in hell? You're going to be sad and depressed and anguished, and you won't be able to be happy unless, God blocks your memory and you don't remember you have these kids or that they exist and that they're there. How does that work out? Or you can also say, well, they had their chance. Screw them. If they're in hell, that's their fault, not mine. And that you really don't care and don't feel any pity or any negative emotion for that reason. And the last thing that I want to share is a little piece of conversation that somebody had with Jordan Maxwell. If you already know the little story about the burning angel, you don't have to listen to this, but I am going to play that for you so you can hear the clip, okay?
Keep your mouth shut. You've got no question. And so that night, after the confirmation service was over, I will never forget it. It was Bishop T.J. Tulin from Alabama. And he was there in my hometown. And so after the confirmation service was over, he said, well, you children are now confirmed Catholics. If you have any questions, I'll try and answer them for you. And all the kids knew not to say anything. So I stood up and I raised my hand and stood up so to make damn sure they could see me. They know who was doing the talking. And I said, I have a question. I said, my dad worked with torches, like a welder. And I said, could I take a torch and burn an angel? If there was an angel standing next to me, could I burn an angel? Would it hurt him if I hit him with a torch? And the bishop said, well, no. And he said, no, because fire is a natural thing. You have to have a plastic, a wood, a paper. But you can't burn an angel. And I said, why not? And he said, well, angels are spirits. You can't burn a spirit. And I said, well, then why am I worried about going to heaven when my spirit will burn if you can't burn a spirit?
So anyways, when I first heard this, I thought it was very comical and true. So I'll leave the link to the video so you can hear the whole interview if you want to. But I think that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about today. Thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you soon. Have a great day. Bye.